Okay, so you did a really great job outside with Lewis. It looks like everything is getting a lot better with you guys walking since the first time that you guys started. It looks like he's pulling you a lot less. It looks
Right.
like it's a lot more manageable walking down the street, but it looks like he is still pulling you a bit. And if it got to the situation where you got to like a corner, or if you wanted to cross a street, it could still potentially be a dangerous situation. So we're going to continue with the same thing, and we're going to continue with this program. You did a really good job implementing the program and following along like you should. Most of the timing went really well. That's usually the hard part for most people
Right.
doing this for the first time. Um, you did a really good job with the positive reinforcement, telling him that he's doing a good job, and just making it around the block the whole way, and making it through that entire bag of food, and like I said, just doing the whole program. You started off, with the right food. You didn't give him like Cheetos or anything like that.
Right.
You had
Of course.
actual chicken, which was the right thing to give him. You had the leash pulled to the set amount, which is what we talked about, which is what is in the plan.
Right.
You had it locked permanently using a lock that's in the leash. Um, the duration of time that you were walking with him for each trial was 10 to 12 seconds about for most trials. There was a couple that were a little bit longer, there was a couple that were a little bit shorter, but there was no point that we were doubling the time or anything like that. It was relatively, maybe
Yeah.
a couple seconds
Right.
here or there, but relatively was the same. You did a good job, especially there was one point where I think he ate something off the ground, and you restarted the time. That was really good. That meant he was able to get some food. You have food. That's what we're trying to give him for walking with you,
Right.
because he was able to get some food. You did a good job of restarting that timer, um, and making him work for food again. So that's
Right.
good. Um, you did a good job for the most part of applying those prompts simultaneously, the physical and the
Right.
verbal prompts of pulling the leash and saying wait. That was really good. The wait duration, the tolerance time of 5 seconds was almost exactly the same every time, which was really good. The only thing that we were really missing for every trial for the entire walk was the feeding technique,
Yeah.
which I think we kind of forgot
I
about.
forgot. Yes.
So if you notice while we were walking, or while you were actually giving him the food, there was a couple times where, when you were giving it to him, you had to pull your hand away, or you gave it to him, you pull your hand away, and he dropped it, and you had to give him another piece, or something like that. So that's kind of what we're trying to avoid, and
Yeah.
we're trying to avoid you getting your fingers bit or something like that. And actually giving him food like that is what um, kind of ramps up that behavior of snapping a bit more and jumping up and grabbing your fingers. So we're trying to avoid that, and we're trying to shape that
Yeah.
behavior in another program.
Mhm.
So if we can try to continue with that same backhand kind of technique, if you can show me what that looks like. Yeah, it's just that, like, fingers first, kind
Yeah.
of, instead of giving it to him
Right.
this
Right.
way or dropping
That
it or
way.
anything like
Right.
that. If you can give it to him this way, that kind of slows him down, makes him go around it, or whatever it is. That's kind of really the only thing that we were missing.
Mhm.
Besides that, everything else looked good, but in the future, we're just going to be looking for that. And yeah, I mean, I'm gonna monitor you walking Lewis a couple more times, but this looked really good. I'm just looking to make sure that we're getting everything, all the timing correct.
Mhm.
And like I said, if we can try to get the phone on, maybe on the timer before we walk out the door. I know getting out the door is usually pretty hard.
Right.
Getting that timer on the wrist or on the arm, and starting on that first block,
Right.
according to the data, that's like where we had most of the issues with timing was on the first stretch. Once we got to the second part of the block,
Yeah.
it was no problem, and it was like 10 seconds, 11 seconds, 10 seconds, 12 seconds, 10 seconds. So, yeah, but that's
Okay.
all. So thank you very much, and
Thank you.
have a good week, and we'll do this again next weekend, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.